Some highways just connect point A to point B, but every once in a while, a stretch of road does something more. Today, we're talking about how a seemingly ordinary highway in Colorado didn't just connect cities, it connected ideas, talent, and technology, quietly becoming a global economic giant. So let's hit the road and find out how. Yeah, I know, it sounds like the setup for a really weird joke, right? But the answer actually reveals a powerful pattern in how American innovation really happens. You see, each of those things is tied to a specific, legendary stretch of road. Okay, so you've probably heard of the first two. Woodward Avenue in Detroit, that's the birthplace of the automobile. California's Highway 101, the literal backbone of Silicon Valley. But that third one, Interstate 25 in Colorado, that's the shocker. It's the surprising home of that winter jacket, and believe it or not, it's now becoming the main artery for America's next big technological leap. So, you gotta ask, how on earth did that happen? Well, for decades, this little 60-mile stretch of I-25 just quietly became one of the most important corridors on the planet for the outdoor industry, a total hidden economic powerhouse. And when I say powerhouse, I mean it. The sheer scale here is just staggering. The global outdoor industry is a behemoth, worth over $1.2 trillion. Just in Colorado, it pumps nearly $14 billion into the state's economy. And then if you zoom in on just that one corridor along I-25, the Front Range, consumer spending alone hits almost $30 billion. That kind of concentration does not happen by accident. Something special was going on. In fact, that concentration got so intense that the region earned a nickname, Outdoor Gear Valley. It's really a story about what happens when you get a critical mass of talent and ideas all in one place. It can just spontaneously ignite an entire industry. And there's actually a fancy economic term for this. It's called agglomeration. It's basically what happens when companies stop spreading out and start stacking up together. All the talent concentrates, suppliers are just down the road, and ideas start moving at the speed of a coffee break. It's the secret sauce behind places like Silicon Valley, and it's exactly what happened right here for outdoor gear. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. The seeds were planted way back after World War II, with pioneers using military surplus nylon to create cutting-edge gear. It evolved through the whole DIY kit trend of the 70s, and then, bam, the 90s hit, and outdoor gear went from being niche to mainstream fashion. Fast forward to today, and it's a global hub for pure, high-tech innovation. And just to give you a sense of how dense this cluster is, you've got giants making rugged gear like Otterbox, iconic brands like Kelty and Sierra Designs under XL Outdoors, innovators like TELUS, and even major retailers like Jax. It's a complete, self-reinforcing ecosystem, all in one place. So what was it about this specific location? What were the ingredients that made it the perfect petri dish for this industry to flourish? Well, it really boils down to a unique combination of four key factors. First, you've got the ultimate testing lab right in your backyard, the Rocky Mountains. You can design a backpack in the morning and be testing it at 10,000 feet by the afternoon. Second, a killer talent hub fed by universities like CSU and CU Boulder. Third, the physical highway itself, I-25, the freight backbone. And finally, and this is so important, a culture of authenticity built on decades of real-world use. And you really can't overstate that culture piece. As historian Rachel Gross points out, this was never just about function. The gear developed here became a symbol. It was a way to define your identity, to signal that you were part of a community that valued authenticity and experience over everything else. But to really understand this corridor's dominance, you have to shrink your perspective way down to the molecular level. Because modern outdoor gear, it isn't really clothing anymore. It's applied science. Just take the waterproof, breathable membrane in your jacket. It's an engineering marvel. That fabric has billions of microscopic pores per square inch. And here's the magic. Each pore is too small for a big liquid water droplet to get in, but it's large enough for water vapor, your sweat, to get out. Rain stays out, sweat gets out. It sounds so simple, but it was absolutely revolutionary. So let's be super clear here. This isn't just fabric. It's technology adapted from fields like aerospace. It's complex material science solving a fundamental problem. And it works whether you're on a Himalayan peak or just trying to survive a rainy walk through the city. So, this is where the story takes a huge turn. Because the crucial point is that this is now so much bigger than jackets. The very same culture of collaboration, research, and high-tech development that perfected outdoor gear is now being aimed at the defining challenges of our time, quantum computing and climate resilience. And as Deborah Wynne Smith of the Council on Competitiveness puts it, The highway made of pavement is now secondary to the highway of ideas. The region has built an intellectual infrastructure, a powerful network of trust, talent, and shared ambition that links the universities, labs, and businesses. And you can see that evolution so clearly here. The expertise that once perfected technical fabrics is now being poured into climate resilience. The engine that built consumer goods is now shifting to build quantum computers. The physical testing ground of the mountains is now complemented by this powerful intellectual infrastructure. And the leaders in the region, they see a clear path forward. As Zachary Shalmi says, they know they can't outcompete Silicon Valley in AI, but they can lead in quantum. It's all about finding that next frontier where their unique collaborative advantages give them a real edge. And those advantages are real. The trust built over years allows a nonprofit group like Innosphere to move way faster than academic institutions. They have complementary strengths, like pulling in the University of Wyoming's physics expertise to boost Colorado's quantum research. And everybody there shares a growth mindset, collaborating in a way that rivals the famous research triangle. And this is where the two new pillars, quantum and climate, lock together. As CU Boulder's chancellor points out, the multi-billion-dollar investments needed for quantum are only going to flow to regions that are seen as stable and resilient in the face of climate change. So one effort directly enables the other. So the strategy is clear. They're integrating local supply chains for energy and minerals, boosting their own manufacturing capacity, and securing a diverse mix of funding. The big goal is to create a self-sustaining ecosystem that can design, build, and power the next generation of technology, all in one place. The leaders there have been warned against what's called the tyranny of incremental change, which is really just the danger of thinking too small. After evolving from outdoor gear to a hub for quantum and climate tech, the I-25 Innovation Highway is at a pivotal moment. The only question now is, what bold move will it make next?